Okay, good morning. Welcome to the two-stroke turbo channel. I'm walking out to the Camry here that had some rodent damage. I've got some good news. Let's get in here. I am lucky to be near a junkyard, an old-fashioned junkyard, and I was able to yesterday go to that junkyard since I know them down the street, and the rodents cut off the coolant temperature sensor wiring to the engine. There's the gauge plug, and this is the computer plug. And they had an engine that had a cut wiring harness, and I was able to get those plugs. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now I have something to attach wires to. I can solder on a new section of wire or solder on to the harness. So now comes the hard part. It's 35 degrees outside. This thing is not going to want to start. Oh, there it goes. Tried. Come on, baby. So trying to start a car without a coolant temperature sensor signal is about impossible, but it's got to get going. I might spray it. Oh, come on. Oh, I tried. Yeah, oh, it really tried. Won't take any fuel. I'm just gonna let it idle. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the RPM dial there, right here. Of course, our check engine light's on. It won't take any fuel at all, so I just gotta let it warm up here. See if I can turn the wipers on. I wonder if I can put it in dry without it dying. I don't think so. See if we can eke this thing in the shop. Oh, just barely. There we go. Give it a little bit of gas. Oh, that's gonna be so nice. I did not want to push this car into the shop. Hopefully I didn't wear the guy starter out. Okay, now that we're in the shop, nice, warm, and cozy, we can connect those wires. Show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so we got the car in the shop, hood's open, and we need to take this pigtail of wires that I cut off of a junkyard motor and attach it here to where our mice or rabbit or squirrel chewed the wires off. So I've got to cut back into the wire harness here to get a way to solder, or I have to see how I can attach these. So I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm going to slit down the side of this conduit, maybe even get into this more corrugated conduit. I need a good couple inches would be best. See if I can reattach these wires. So I'm going to work on that now. Okay, so I think I've got a good patch here for my wires that were chewed by the rodents. I decided to use spade terminals that are protected in shielded housings, and I was able to peel back the 22 gauge wiring that's probably soy based, and I used a special crimper. It's a big, long-handled electrical crimper. I've had it for a long time, and I used specifically this crimp point here. It puts a really solid crimp on those so they can't come apart. You can see, or maybe you can't see the crimp on that. I feel pretty good about that. I was going to solder them, but it's just hard to get the soldering iron in here, and it's just a tight space. I think this is going to work. So without further ado, let's try to start the car up. It should start right up. I hope it does. Let's see. Key is here. Key is on. Starts right up, just like it should. Idle's high. I think that's going to do it. I think so. So I'm going to protect those wires and keep them from being rodent rodent treats. I might wrap it in, I don't know, some type of conduit. I'm going to try plastic and or maybe I've got some stainless steel. I can wrap those in. So that's going to do it. That's the fix for this guy. Luckily, I could get those pigtails from the wrecking yard. That made this job a lot easier. Thanks for following along and coming on my kind of crazy adventure sometime. Another old classic car hits the road.